Hola, buenos días. Bienvenido a la clase de español. Today we're going to talk about tener expressions in Spanish. So if you have your vocab page printed, pull that out, get a pencil or something to write with, and if you don't have the vocab page, just pull out a piece of paper. Be sure to stop the video along the way if you need to take time to write things down. We've been using tener expressions since the very first weeks of Spanish. We talked about how old we are at the very beginning of Spanish, and we use this expression tener and the noun años. In English, we say we are an age, but in Spanish, you say you literally have years, to have years. So you would say, tengo 13 años. I have 13 years, or a better English translation would be, I am 13 years old. All of the rest of these are expressions that use tener in the same places where English would use the verb to be, like I am, or he is, or you are. So let's jump right into these. In Spanish, to say hungry, to be hungry, you would use tener hambre. Again, hambre is a noun, so you have hunger. So literally, to have hunger, tener hambre. To be thirsty, tener sed. Literally, in Spanish, you're saying, I have thirst. Tener sed. Tener frío would be to be cold, or literally to have cold. Tener frío. Do you remember we used this when we talked about weather too, and we said hace frío. And if it was hot outside, we said hace calor. And when you want to say that I am hot, you're going to use tener calor. So you would say tengo calor. To be afraid in Spanish is tener miedo, literally to have fear. Tener miedo. To be sleepy, tener sueño. So if you want to say I am sleepy, in Spanish you would say tengo, I have, sueño, sleepiness. Tengo sueño. To be in a hurry in Spanish is tener prisa. Prisa is a noun that means hurriedness, so I have that, tener prisa. To be right is tener razón. Tener razón. So if you wanted to say I am right, in Spanish you say tengo razón. Or if you want to say someone else is right, you would say tienes razón. To be embarrassed in Spanish is tener vergüenza. Tener vergüenza. To be successful, tener éxito. Tener éxito. To feel like in Spanish is tener ganas de. This one you're going to use with verbs most of the time. So you have the desire, ganas is kind of like desire, tener ganas de, for example, to eat, tener ganas de comer. To be careful, tener cuidado. To have care, tener cuidado. To be lucky, in Spanish you need to say tener suerte. So if you want to say I am lucky, you say tengo suerte. Tengo suerte. So let's review the verb tener real quickly. Remember, tener is the verb that means to have. Tengo is I have. Tienes, you have. That's the informal one. Tiene, you formal have. He has and she has. Tenemos, we have. And tienen, y'all have or they have. So let's do a little bit of practice here. So if you wanted to say I am cold, in Spanish, instead of looking for the verb am, you're going to use the verb tener with these expressions. So you need the verb that means I have, which would be tengo, and then cold, frío, tengo frío. So that's how you say I am cold in Spanish. Literally, I have cold or coldness. Let's do the next one and pause these so that you can write them down and then check to see how you did. The students, los estudiantes, are sleepy. You need a verb form that goes with los estudiantes. You need to use the verb tener. Los estudiantes tienen, and then the expression that you need for sleepy would be sueño. Los estudiantes tienen sueño. Remember, sueño is a noun. they have sleepiness. Are you thirsty? It's a question. You're literally going to say, do you have thirst? So you need the verb for you have, which would be tienes. You can put tú in there if you want, but it's optional. Tienes, and then you need the noun, which is thirst, which is sed. Tienes sed? My cousins are afraid. Mis primos, and then you need a form of the verb tener that goes along with my cousins. Tienen miedo. My cousins have fear, whereas in English you would say my cousins are afraid. I feel like eating bread. You need the verb form for yo, so yo tengo ganas de, that's the way you say feel like. Comer, notice that I'm using the infinitive comer instead of eating, the present progressive, and then pan. And you might remember that expression from one of the Señor Woolley videos, tengo ganas de comer el pan. He is not right. Él, don't forget where the negative goes in Spanish. It always goes right in front of the verb. No, and then you want a form of tener that goes along with he. Él no tiene razón. He is not right. Él no tiene razón. Okay, well that's it for tener expressions. Hopefully you'll take some time to memorize these and be sure to visit with your teacher, your virtual teacher during her instruction sessions if you have any questions. Adiós.